All right, so let's do the walk cycle for Stewart. So Stewart is a character from Animation Mentor, and let's reference him in. You'll have to uh, ignore that error and press 6, and that will bring in the textures. So like the ultimate walker, a lot of these controls are very similar. So he has the little prisms behind the feet with foot brake, toe raise, foot roll, etc., etc. The aim locators, but the addition, and also the center control shape. But the addition is the hands and the head, and you can also make his eyes blink and all that. So there's some neat stuff. I was going to do the ultimate Bony, but I like this because he's a little bit more humanoid. So you actually feel like you're really animating a character, and you can see kind of a lot more kind of emotion showing through. And there's also two images I have uploaded, and they're for the let's see if I have the right one. There we go. Um, for looking at the walk cycle. So the big thing that's different, though, obviously, is the addition of the hands. And the hands don't go to their fullest extent until you go to the down pose. So, and the other important thing is that the hand that's in front is not the foot that's in front. I've seen some people do that, and then they're like, why does it look weird? Because that's not the way that we walk. So you'll notice also that when it goes into the down pose, that the hand is at its furthest back, and then it starts coming forward. So when it's coming forward, you'll see that the hand also is pointing backward, and you just think of it in terms of just like the weight of the hand and then the motion of the hand. So there's a bit of follow for the hand. And you can also see that the hand turns a little bit, the elbow goes out just a little bit. There'll also be, instead of having the hands go straight like side to side, which would look rather robotic, when you look at the front, you can also see that the hands go forward and front a little bit, and then when they go to the side, they kind of go out to the side. You don't really want to make it look like his hands don't want to go near his hips, because then it looks like he has some really strong lats, or he's just worked out a lot lately. But then there's also the hips too, and you'll notice that when he goes on his down pose, then the hip kind of goes up, aims up as a reaction to it. When he's about to go down, the hip is aiming down toward the foot about to go down. And when it goes down, then the hip, in reaction to hitting the floor, goes up. Then the curvature of the spine is also something. So it's curved off to the right. When he hits it going down, he's on the way to it being curved off to the left. So the passing pose has the most curvature often in this direction. The up pose, everything is straight up and down. The hips and the hips and the shoulder are straight. So you don't have to key everything when it comes to like the curvature of the position of the hips. You could probably key the hips for the down and the hips for up, and yeah, that's about it. Maybe for the contact, but anyways, those are small little details. We'll deal with that with the with like the refinement phase. And so to start out with, we're gonna do the main overall poses for everything. So I'm gonna put it into my favorite way to view animation. Do the perspective on the right, and then for this one, I'm going to do a left view because I like to have the character off in this direction. I'm also going to hide the grid on this side, and the other thing that you want to hide is the bones, because you can see just a little bit of the bones peeking out. And one of the reasons why you want to hide that is if you select everything, the bones take a greater hierarchy to select, and you want to be able to select all the NURBS curves, or the control shapes rather. So we go over here and we find joints and we turn that off. This way, if we're selecting things, we select the curves. And do the same thing over here, hide the joints. And we're going to do the same thing with our timeline. Since this is a walk in place, it's going to be 1 through 25. And also, I don't think you want to copy from the left arm to the right arm. I think that you get some weird effects. You can copy, I think you can copy the individual, like the whole arm. You don't want to do that. You may be able to copy one, like the shoulder, from one to the other. But even then, you know, you might get some unintended results. The other thing I almost forgot to mention was he also has some stretchy limbs. So we want to turn off the stretchy limbs by, when we click on the prism, we just go to stretchy leg and we put a 0 there. And we'll do that for the other leg. All right, so let's start with our down pose. So looking at the down pose, we can see, oh, sorry, I meant contact. This is our contact pose. Let's start with that. So we're going to bring them down just a little bit. And if you haven't gone through the walk cycle with the Ultimate Walker, you'll definitely want to do that. You'll also notice that the rig is set up so that when you move him forward, that his face is always aiming forward. And when we start doing the little bit of the fine tuning of it, we'll also notice that when we animate, we don't want to animate these parts to the back. Just a lot of stuff to animate, so the easiest way to do it is just to animate these guys. These are the hips. If we move this forward, you'll see that it bends like that, and then this one will bend the top, just like so. This, you'll get a little bit extra finer control, but these two here will keep the keyframes to a minimum so that it's easily adjustable. All right, so I think that looks pretty good. To start off, I think I'll also do a couple things because I want the feet to be cheated out just a little bit. I want the knees also to be cheated out. So in our first pose, let's set that up so we don't forget about it. I think it's heel twist. Yeah. So I'm gonna put it out to about there, 8.5. Go. And then I'm also going to move these guys out just a little bit, just at the beginning. And then I'm also going to bring these, the feet in a little bit closer. And this way we won't have to do it later. So I'm going to bring it so that the heels are pretty much next to each other. Not quite doing a runway walk, but they're pretty darn close. All right, that looks about right. So there's our first pose. we set these guys, we set this one, and we don't need to set the knee locators because those aren't moving anywhere. And we key it. So with that keyed, we copy this one, we go on to 25, we paste it, we go on to 13, and we paste it. So obviously it's going to be the same thing, 3 keys for each. So 1, 4, 7, 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19, 22, and 25. And 13 is where it flips. So if we look at our graph editor, let's bring that up. We have it set up just like that. So pretty nice. Let's move that up there. And let's flip the left foot to the right foot. So left foot, copy, right foot, paste. Then we go over here, we're going to do the right foot to the left foot. So on the first keyframe we go 1, and then over here we go to our left foot and we click paste. So now we have the scrubbing feet. Alright, so that's all set. Now let's go to our down pose. And our down pose is over here. And with the foot straight down, and then you can see the toe is a little bit bent, but just the tip of the toe is touching. So this guy goes over here. We're going to put a 0 in foot roll and foot brake. And over here, now let's click on our foot roll and then move it backward. And then we're going to move it down a little bit because the down pose is down just a little. And that looks good. And let's key that guy. So we could go and we could copy this one to the other side, or we could do something a little bit different. Sometimes you have to kind of change things up a little bit. So let's, just for the hell of it, let's go to the passing pose. And the passing pose is also going to be on right on the floor. I may move it back just a little bit. And then this foot I'm going to bring up. I'm going to 0 out the foot brake. And try to do what you can with the foot roll and foot brake while you have them. And the passing is up a little bit. And that looks about right. And we key that. And then 10 is our up. And I kind of like where that foot is. But let's see how it looks when we move them up all the way. No, we should probably move them up just a bit. Nope, we're not going to do that. We're going to go to foot roll. We don't want him to go too much onto his toe. And we'll move this up a little. And let's 0 out the foot brake. All right, so that should be about right. So let's see how he looks. Dun, 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 dun. Easy. All right, so then let's copy these guys over. So let's copy the left foot onto 16. Paste. let's copy the right foot onto 16. Wait, am I doing this right? We need to do opposite feet. So say this is where you got to keep on your toes there. So on our right foot, that was the left foot, this is the right foot. We're switching them. There we go, okay. And then our right foot goes onto the left foot. All right, and then 7, we're going to copy the left foot onto the right foot. On 19, right foot. And then 7, right foot onto the left foot. And then on 10, the left foot onto the right foot. Let's try that again. On 10, we're going to do the left foot onto 22 onto the right foot. And then it's going to be the right foot onto the left foot. All right, so now, so the one thing that we had forgotten was the height of the center control shape. So that one goes on to 16, and that was from 4, and then 7 on to 19, and then 10 on to 22. And make sure everything is accurate on there. All right, so there's our basic walk cycle for his feet. So it looks pretty good. One thing that I might have mentioned in the last class is if you look at the graph editor, you can see there's some extra keyframes in here. Some things might change, but you can actually get rid of like these guys over here and make things a little bit more smooth. And let's see if that changes anything. Look at that. Look at how nice that is. Just a nice little bounce. One of the things I often wonder if it might have an effect is notice how we have the this 24 going into 1. Everything is smooth here, so it's, you know, we could change it so that it's set to be linear tangents. Everything is pretty quick, so if we were to do this a lot slower, it probably wouldn't look particularly right. But if we look right over here, you can see that the tangent is coming down about here when it flips right to the beginning. So one thing you could consider is bringing this guy in here, and that can make it so that it goes exactly back over there, and there's everything is absolutely smooth. So there's a little bit of a knee buckle there. But for now, I'm just not going to do any theories. I'm just going to leave it like that. Leave our graph editor over there. Okay, now let's do the arms. So the basic arm movements. So like I said, the arms go to their greatest extent when it's on the down pose. And let's get them placed. Oh, let's also save him. You don't want it to get, I think it needs to be a binary. Let's see. Yeah, you don't want things to crash. So let's look at his arm. Let's bring his thumb in so we can relax the hand a little bit. That looks a little bit more relaxed. Let's bring his other arm in. So let's do the back. And we won't worry so much about rotation right now for like the arm going to the front, but we are going to consider the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. So let's do approximately what we think is pretty good. I think I'll move his hand up a little bit like that. And then we key that. And then this is where it goes to its fullest extent. So when it's at its fullest extent and it's about to go back, the arm is going to be most extended like that. And the hand is also going to be a little bit back like this. It can be, depending on what your style is or what the character style is, it could change. And then we're going to do the passing. Remember only to rotate it with one. Like if you're rotating the arm, you don't want to rotate all of these pieces at once. And now, since it's coming forward, it's still a little bit bent lengthwise. That's our passing. And here's our up. And when it's going forward, it's a bit different than when it's going back. When it's going back, the arm will bend. When it's forward, the arm is making the forearm trail a little bit. So it will be a little more straight. So this is our up, and it's going to start bending just a little bit. So this way, I'm just animating the right arm, and we'll see how it goes. And now this is at the this is in the front on your your contact pose. All right, let's go back here and let's do our other arm. And I'm still going to look at it from this side. So this side is where it's coming up. And we select the wrist, the shoulder, and the elbow. And now it's coming back down. This is where we'll bend the elbow a little bit. Because that elbow will bend when it's coming down. And we'll make the wrist follow a little. After you do this a few times, it's going to pretty much become second nature. And then we're going to put them down there. This is where, with passing, where things are pretty much right in the center of everything. And 10 is our up. I'm going to move it back. 13 is our contact. Select everything and key it. Let's see how everything's looking. Looking pretty good. All right, let's do the left arm for the let's see, did we do the whole thing? No, we hadn't done it for that. I'm just going to do the left arm now for the rest of the animation. So this is going to be the most extent. The left arm. And then 19. And this is where the arm comes in. And this is our passing. And on our passing pose, this is where the arm is going to get a little straightened. And the hand goes back a little bit because it's coming forward. And then the up pose. This is where the arm forward a little, and it's still kind of straight. Remember that references are not a bad thing. In fact, it's really good to have like a reference of like how you walk also. Let's see. Let's check out 25 and then 25. All right, so now let's go finish up the other arm because it's still stuck. So 13, 16, so this is the right arm, and this is the down pose. So we came from the contact, and now it's coming up, so we have to remember that. So it's going to come back a little bit. It's going to bend a little bit. The hand's going to come forward. Key that. And this is the passing. And of course, the passing pose with the arm going back is this guy here, so it's a little bit more bent. And now doing our up pose, and going back a little like that. Also, it's good even if you're just moving just a tiny bit with each of these guys to move each of the control shapes in the arms, at least, not everything, because in our bodies everything is something is animating, something is moving. That's why like in idle animation you'll see just like a lot of stuff moving, sometimes a little bit too much, as idle animations can get absurdly have an absurd amount of motion. I mean, if I'm sitting I'm looking at the television, I'm not going to go like that unless I'm, more unusual. All right, so let's see. Here we go. Let's look at this. Now, let's copy all these guys. Let's copy the front. So I have just the front. let's see if we can copy this over onto 25 and make sure that everything works. Okay, so that's good. Let's copy just the left arm from 1. Put on to 25. And so 1 and 25 are the same. Let's see how it looks. All right. Hey, that looks pretty good. Super robotic. Could be worse. But you'll also notice that that there's no motion in the back, there's no motion in the head or anything like that. But this is a great start. Sometimes you get it looking good early on. Okay, we're saving it. So great foundation. Let's start adding just a little bit to it. So the first thing that I think that we should add is a little bit of the side view of the back. So with this, the most curved part is with contact. It goes to straight, so it's curved backward like that, curved forward a little bit for passing, and straight up for up. So I'm going to not actually even curve down, key down. I'm just going to key contact, passing, and up. So and I may exaggerate it just a little bit just for some fun effect. And I'm also going to put a little bit of neck motion here also. All right, so we keyed the chest, the hips, and the neck. And like I said, I'm not going to key down, but I am going to key the passing pose. And the passing pose is a little bit back like this. So I'm looking at the hips, and I'm looking at the gizmo here. It's aimed backward just a little bit, like we can see over here. It's aimed backward a little. Now he looks a little goose-necked there, so I'm going to move his neck up a little bit. And then I'm going to select and make sure the neck is selected, that chest and the hips are selected, and I'm going to key that. And then up, as in everything is straight. So the neck, the chest, and the hips, and I'm going to key that. All right, so what's also nice about this is that we can go here. Let's see if we can copy these guys. So I have those guys selected. I'm going to go on to 13. I'm going to paste that. Yeah, we can. So now I just go to 7 and I copy that. And then that's skipping the keyframe for down. So 13, 16, and 19. So I paste that over there. And then the same thing for the beginning. I copy those guys, put it onto 25. Now, am I missing something? I'm missing the up. Copy, 22, paste, dunk, 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 up, up. Okay, let's see how he looks. That's pretty cute. Look at that. That's adorable. Save it. Okay, now that we have that, The other things that we can think about are the arms. They're floating kind of side by side, side to side rather. Oh, wrong one. So, and we can also think about the rotation of the shoulders and the hips. Let's see here. Which shall we do? Let's do the shoulders and the hips. So let's start with the hips first. See how that works. So for this one, I think I'll go into the front view, and I'll also turn off the grid for that. So with the this one, remember that the down pose was the one that it kind of flicked into the opposite into the leg that is not the most down, because gravity is kind of pushing it off to the side. So with that, and be careful also about over accentuating the hip motion. Kind of the subconscious idea that if there's a lot of hip motion, the person is more feminine. So whatever your intention is, just be aware of that. And so we have that one, and then we're going to go to straight. All right, let's pause this. All right. So we're doing the hips. So we went, this one was down, like that, straight, and this one was a little off to the side. Key that, boom, straight. Now this is the one with that leg going forward. So we want that one to go down just a bit. And then flipping to the side because of the weight on the leg. A little bit less. Straight on, and then let's go over here, copy the first one to 25. See how that looks. That's pretty good. All right. Looking pretty good. Let's pause this. All right, now let's do the shoulders. So if we look at the shoulders here, we have the shoulder going mostly down on the down pose, and then straight ahead on the up pose. Looks about the same on the passing pose. Let's try this. So in the passing pose, I'm going to paste that. I don't know if that's going to work. We'll see. And then on the up pose, everything is straight ahead. And on the contact pose is off to one side. So let's copy these guys. So copy 1 into 13, paste 4 into 16, and 7 into 19, So I don't like what we've done there. With that, the left foot. Oh, I see. I think I see what's going on here. That's why. I did the wrong leg. And on the opposite side. Yep. Up is good. And then this one is the contact for the other foot. Yep. And then that one should be okay. There we go. All right. So that's a little bit jerky. I think that we could probably fix that up a little bit. So we were looking at that we weren't going to necessarily, the main thing that we were going to key was the down pose. That was the main thing. And then this key for it was not necessary. So let's kill that and see what happens. And so it was the passing pose on each. So this is the down, and this is the contact, the down. That's the most important one. And then the passing one is the one that's just kind of in between. So let's see how that looks. That's kind of looking a little better. Yeah. Let's see how he's looking from the side. So the head there's too much bobbing for me for the head, so that's one thing that we could fix. Let's see what we can do here with the neck. Now in this one, you can see that his head kind of goes down on the passing pose. So down, passing. And then when he gets to the contact pose, it goes to kind of straight ahead. So on the passing pose, it's always a little bit down. So that one over there. Oh, why did I put that on 12? It should be on 13. So down, passing. And so passing is the one where he's looking down a little bit. And then straight ahead is on the beginning and at the end. There we go. That's looking pretty cute. Just a little on the wobbly side, but maybe we can smooth them out just a little bit. All right, let's look at the hips. See what we have here. We have some things that could be removed that could make it a little bit wobbly. Some of these don't necessarily need to be keyed. There's a nice smooth motion. Now that is something that could be fixed. One other thing you can do to smooth these things out is you can do this. You can make it nice and smooth this way. Let's see now. This is rotate Y. We could try to smooth this out too, see how that works. That's looking pretty good. Rotate Z. We can smooth that out also. Remove that to make that nice and smooth. We could even remove that. Nah, that's all right. And that's that one. Let's look at the shoulders. So I'm just looking to make things look a little bit smoother. And rotate X. Looks all pretty smooth. Oh, that looks smooth. Oh, that looks very smooth. Look at that. We're amazing. All right, so I'm liking what's going on here so far with him. The other things that we want to do is we want to look at his arms. So or his hands rather. Let's make his hands and arms kind of. Let's save it first. When his hands are back to the extents like this, we want the arms to go kind of behind him. So I'm going to grab onto the shoulder, and then I may also bring the hand in a little bit like that. So key both of these guys, and then when it comes out like that, and it goes to the front, and this is to the frontmost. And I'm going to bring it in a little bit like that, and I may do that a little. Bring the hand in, and then it comes back, and let's look at the right arm. It's a little bit quickly moving behind him, so I'm going to start that motion a little bit earlier. And then start this motion a little bit earlier. Key this one. That's looking good. Then let's do the left arm. So left arm, we're gonna bring in a little bit. And then for this one, most extents, bring that in, bring that in. Key these guys. I'm going to key that a little bit so that we have a little bit of smoothness. Select those guys and key that. And then when it's about to go behind him, I'm going to rotate that a little bit. Key that. And then it's all the way behind him. Rotate that. Rotate that a little bit. Key those two. Coming back. Maybe I'll bring that in a little. And then make sure that we have the same thing for the front. Alright, so then we select these two guys, copy that, bring it over here, paste it, select these two guys, from here, copy that, paste it to the end, and now we should be able to see the hands nicely go in front and around. There's some elements of it that are pretty jerky, but overall I kind of like it. Then the only other thing that I think that we're really missing, oh, well, one really obvious thing that we're kind of missing is the toes. Super easy to do. So this one, we're going to do a toe tap. Now the toe tap will bring manually the toe up like this. So we key that, and we're fine there. And then the left, we're going to key the toe tap going backward. And on 10, we're going to key the toe tap going down. And over here, we're going to key the toe tap going up. So we're good with that foot. And 16, 19, then we're going to click on this foot. And we're going to key the toe tap going back. 22, we're going to key the toe tap going down again. And then we just copy that key for the foot. Paste it in there. So now we have our little toe tap going. That's good. What are we missing? I think we're missing the shoulders. So the shoulders are going to go left to right. Now this one, or just rotating. So let's look at the shoulder. So when the right arm is back is when it's going to be aimed toward the arm that's back. Yeah, exactly. So contact is back. There. All right, so let's look at it in terms of 1. And let's do the rotation back like so. Key that. And then let's go forward. go. All right. All right. That's a nice swagger going on there. The only thing I think that's really left, I mean, of course we could always do the hair, but that's really, that would really not be necessary. Is the weight going from foot to foot. So let's look at our the middle control shape, and let's look at so when he goes onto his foot, onto his right foot, he is kind of leaning right onto it. And then when he's on this foot, he should be leaning right over that foot. So if we look at the graph editor from those two, let's see if we can get a good idea. That should be the Z position, I think. Is it? No, it's X. Yeah, it's X. So what we want, we have it just bobbing over there and going up. What we want to get rid of these guys, so it has a nice motion there. I think I'm going to make it a little bit more rounded by doing that. And we'll see how that works. Ooh, too much. Yeah, that's much better. There we go. All right, so that is our little walk cycle for Stewart. And if we hide all of the NURBS curves, this is what he looks like. There's some things that are a little bit jerky about him, but overall I think he has a pretty good look about him, and his head is pretty loose. And I think if we look around, it's pretty good. Oh wait, we need to put it to 24. There we are. Cool. All right. I hope you got a lot of that, and it was informative. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next recording.